Hey guys, this is Josh again, and finally doing another movie review. I haven't done one in quite a while, so thought it'd be cool to do another one. Recently, I saw Transformers: Age of Extinction, and so I'm going to go ahead and review and talk about that movie. So Transformers: Age of Extinction takes place a few years after the third film, after the attack on Chicago. The main cast is different for the humans. Kate Yeager is one of the main characters, played by Mark Wahlberg. His daughter is played by Nicola Peltz. Her character's name is Tessa, and she brings along her boyfriend for the film. And we also have Stanley Tucci as Joshua Joyce, the head of the company, KSI. This movie, although enjoyable, I pretty much enjoyed most of the film, but it definitely had its flaws. So the movie brings back all the cool robot or transformer fighting action, some pretty cool battles, and of course the explosions and the slow-mo. Some of the explosions I thought were a bit over the top. Some of them were like super awesome, but I found myself wondering at one point near the beginning of the movie, like, why did that even explode? Where did that explosion even come from? It didn't even make any sense, so it's kind of made me laugh a bit when I watched the movie. So some of the explosions were not needed and didn't make sense. The slow motion, there was a lot of slow motion parts in this film. Although I really like slow motion, so I still kind of like that they were in the film. But sometimes it made it look a little bit cheesy, and I also laughed at some of those parts because there was a lot of slow motion and sometimes it just looked weird. And I also found that it made Tessa's boyfriend look really strange at times. It's Jack Rayner, that's the actor's name. He plays Shane, a race car driver. I always felt like if he was in the slow motion scene, then he looked really strange. So, I don't know, some of the slow motion wasn't needed too. Another thing that really bugged me about the film is some of the dialogue. Too much dialogue during the fight scenes and too much cheesy dialogue. There were a lot of cheesy lines, especially from some of the main characters, especially Stanley, who plays Joshua Joyce. He had some ridiculous lines, and it seemed like they were trying too hard with the humor, and like it seemed a little bit forced. So that kind of bugged me. Didn't like how they gave characters some crappy lines. There was just a lot of bad dialogue. Even Mark Wahlberg had bad lines. He was pretty cheesy. I think all the human characters were cheesy at times. But I guess they did some pretty cool things too, so good for them, I guess. That way I'm not completely annoyed with them. And so it was kind of cool to see Lockdown brought into this film. He was working for the creators. I liked that they started talking about the creators for the Transformers, kind of bringing in some of the history and mythology for the Transformers. And I'm kind of excited to see where they're going to go with that and how they're going to make them look on screen and how they're going to put that together. So I really liked the battle scenes in this film, and the computer graphics was really beautiful. It looked nice. Cool explosions, debris flying everywhere, cities getting destroyed. Usual action film with giant robots or giant anything. So that was pretty cool. I really liked how that looked. And with all of these battle scenes and explosions, I thought it had great sound too. Like, it sounded great, awesome sound effects throughout the film. I also thought it was cool how they brought in the Dinobots for this film. Of course, actually, you really don't really see them until near the end during the final battle. And they're obviously not a huge part of the film, not main characters, because the main characters are the main Transformers character, of course, the few Autobots that you see. But I really liked the Dinobots, even though they weren't in the film for very long. I thought they made the battle scene more exciting. I was really happy with how they looked and everything. So not only did they introduce the Dinobots into this film, they also brought in some rivals for the Transformers characters. At first, I thought it was kind of cool how these new Transformers made by humans transformed, because it was different And at first I liked it, but after a while I saw throughout the film, I just thought it was ugly, and I realized it is nothing like how the real Transformers, the Autobots and Decepticons transform. It was not as cool. It was just a pretty good action film. It was long, could have been shorter, but I guess the length didn't bother me too much. It might bother some. But it was still pretty enjoyable, even though it had some flaws. So I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite Transformers film, but it's still pretty good. If you're a Transformers fan, watch it. If you like tons of action and explosions and battles, watch it too. Well, thanks guys. That's all I have to say for Transformers Age of Extinction. And thanks for watching. See ya.